Do you want to know the fastest way how you can integrate core data into your iOS apps? Well, in this tutorial, we are going to take a look at that. We are going to build out this application, CatLection, and we are going to talk about NSFetchedResultsController. So I want you to hit that like button and let's just jump right into it. Today we are going to talk about NSFetchedResultsController. Now, if you have been following along this tutorial series, then you already know how to use core data stacks. Now we will take it a step further. We are going to talk about NSFetchedResultsController. So if you are new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that like if you do like this video. Otherwise, make sure that you check out the description below so you can take a look at the whole playlist so you kind of know where this tutorial is starting. Because yes, this is a series and we are, I believe it's part 5 or 6. I don't really know. It's a long tutorial series on core data. So let's just jump right into it. Now we are going to talk about NSFetchedResultsController in a table view. So that's the basic what Apple suggests. But if you do want to learn about NSFetchedResultsController with UI collection views, then make sure to check out the Dev Factory, where you can apply for a slot where we will be just talking about all of your concerns, and if that is NSFetchedResultsController with UI collection view, the better. So we are going to talk about anything that you want with development in a Zoom call. So go ahead and check it out. It's rebeloper.com/mentoring. Now, let me just start off by saying that I have created this demo project. And if you've been following along the tutorial series, then you will know how this works. So I will skip the whole building up from scratch part and I will guide you through the gist of it. So the most important parts. So go ahead and check out the link below. You will have a link to the GitHub repository with this already set up project. I'm using Spark UI. 0.11.11. So we just build out the UI really fast. Now this is not Swift UI, it's Spark UI that I have built on top of UIKit. And yeah, let's just jump right into it and let's see what we have here. First of all, let's take a look at the core data model. So we have a cat entity and it has a city, image name and votes. Now, what does this app really, what is this app really about? Well, it's about voting for cats as your mayor on your city. So let's just select iPhone 11 and let's just build and run. Until it builds, I'm just going to talk a little bit more about what we got here from scratch. So in the scene delegate, we are creating a core data stack. With the core data stack, you will see this file that I have created, and I was talking about core data stacks in an earlier tutorial. I believe it's the one that before this. So we are adding that core data stack on top of our view controller as a dependency, of course. Now you will see some file here, core data fetch results, and I will go into a little bit deeper on this file today. But just so you know, for a first thought, that this is kind of an extension of the class of NS managed objects. So yeah, it's a little bit of helper file there. We have the view controller, and there on the view controller we have a table view which has some cells and a header. So basically that's it. So let's see if this build, yes, there it is. And now we can add some cats, and yeah, we do have some images. So go ahead and click the link in the description so you can grab your images, and there we go. We have a lot of images and plus a dog. Hey, we will be talking about how to query all over the cats. And if there is a dog in there, well, it shouldn't be. We don't want a dog for a mayor. Okay, so let me just take a look at image name. Let's have here cat 0. A name, let's say Lily. And city, let's say New York. Okay, so let's submit that. And there it is. We have Lily in New York, and if we do tap on it, then it gets an extra vote. Let's tap on it again. 2 votes. Now let's add, let's say, cat 1. No space there. And that will be Spark. And let's have LA here. So let's submit that. As you can see, it automatically added the header and this cell, and yeah, this is ordered alphabetically. So let's add another one into LA maybe, and that will be cat 2, and name, let's say snowflake, and LA. Okay, let's submit that. There we go, snowflake. Now, if we add in here a vote for Spark, that will be up. So let's add 2 or maybe 3 here. Now let's click on snowflake 4 times. So 1, 2, 3. And as you can see, it just added that on top. So 4. And if we just go ahead and click on Spark again and again, it just switched. And Lee is in a different city. So even if she has 7 votes, basically she's not going to be on top in the LA race. So that's the app, Catlaction. So let's take a look at what we got in the view controller, because yeah, that is what we are going to talk about, and maybe on the core data fetched results. Okay, so let's just go all the way to the top, and we are going to talk about NSFetchedResultsController. Now that isn't a UI view controller, of course, but it's kind of a controller between your UI and the core data stack's managed context. Go ahead and take a look at the previous videos if you don't know what I'm talking about in this series. Okay, so we are, yeah, and I'm currently using the core data fetch results class that I have created, but here is a raw interpretation of that. So if you just want to start off from scratch, like with NSFetchedResultsController, then you could just uncomment this and use it to your liking, of course. And yeah, so let's take a look a little bit at this fetch results controller, because yeah, it will automatically update the table view if you connect it right to the core data stack and of course to your table view. So what we're doing here, and let me just uncomment this, we will have some errors, but we can read better. So we are creating a fetch request with the model of cat. Yeah, that is basically, you already know this. Now we are going to create 3 sort descriptors, and we are going to add those into the request sort descriptors. Now I'm going to talk about sort descriptors in the next video. So for now, let's just know that these are just going to query the data according to the cat's city, votes, and name, and according to its ascending value, true, false, and true. Now, the order in which we add those descriptors are, of course, very important. And yeah, what do we have here? So we create our fetch results controller with that fetch request on that managed objects. And if you recall, we added core data stack into our view controller. And this section key path and cache name, now these could be nil, but because we are using these sections as the city names, we want to have that as a key path, cat.city. Now the cache name, Catlaction, it's just going to make our fetches a little bit more faster than without that. So if we just added nil there. Finally, we want to set the delegate to self, and we want to return that fetch results controller. So basically that's it. And what I'm doing in the core data fetch results class is basically doing that, but making this in a one-liner. As you can see here, we have our sort descriptors. It's the same thing. And here we have the model of type cat.self, entity name cat, sort descriptors, managed context, delegate, and section key path and cache name. Go ahead and take a look at the initializer on core data fetch results class. So basically it's the same thing. Next up, we have our add button. So I'm just going to scroll down and explain everything to you because, yeah, there's not really much to explain, but to just take a look at the code and use it on your projects. Okay, here we have our table view. We are setting the delegate data source, self-registering the cell and the header, and we're setting the row height to 100 and section header height to 50. Pretty basic stuff if you know UI table views. Okay, finally, we have this onload. Basically, this is on the SView controller, which is a subclass of UI view controller in Spark UI. Onload is called on the view did load. So think of this as you can add these lines of code in the view did load if you are not using Spark UI. So here I'm just adding a predicate. So I can, yeah, you might have predicates, not just sort descriptors. What this does is basically, and we are going to talk about this in detail in the next episode, we are grabbing the key, we're grabbing the value, and the key is cat.imageName, and the value of that image name is dog. So, and this is not equals. So the predicate means that it should not equal to a dog. So, and we are adding that fetch request predicate, and we are performing the fetch. So what you learn here is just setting up the results controller, and we are performing the fetch. Now, let me just jump to definition because pretty straightforward. We have our controller. This is what we created, and we just go perform fetch. And we do that in the do catch statement. So it might fail, and we just handle the error. Pretty straightforward. Okay, so yeah, and we might add a fetch limit if we wanted to 2. I'm not going to do that. Just build and run and check it out how that looks like. So let's just add in here. Let's just see if this will work if we add in a dog. So let's add a dog and name. Let's say Fido. And city, let's add it to LA. Let's submit. And basically nothing happens because we are not allowing the dog to be fetched. Now, let's just add in here equals. So let's just see if we do get anything else than the cats. As you can see, Fido is here alone because now the predicate is just fetch me all the entities that its image name is a dog, and there it is. And of course we can vote for Fido if we wanted to. So no, let's go back to cats. Okay, so let's move forward. Here we have a title, cat collection, and a navigation item set to the right button. And basically we are laying out the table view throughout the whole container of our view controller. And here is our add cat function. So what we are doing here, and you already learned this if you have been following along the tutorial series, link for the playlist in the description. So what we are doing here, we are showing an alert and grabbing our text fields, and we are creating a cat entity on the core data stacks manage context. We set the image name, and city, and finally we want to save the context. And after we save the context, if core data stack, NSFetchResultsController, if NSFetchResultsController is properly linked, then it will automatically update the UI. So how awesome is that? All we need to do is save the context. Again, this is on core data stack class, which in turn is just simple, just checking if has changes, the manage context, and we just save on a do catch statement. Okay. So let's just move on forward with the delegates. Okay, UI table view delegate. This is view for header in section, pretty straightforward. And what you want to know here is how to grab that, we just added the key path of the city name. Now, just go ahead and fetch core data fetch results controller. Now, you could just go ahead and use the core data fetch results controller. You don't have to use this dot syntax nor the class that I created. It's just core data fetch results controller sections, and on the section, you can see we grab the section from here. And yeah, that's the section info, and it has a name. So the name will be basically the cat's city name. And yeah, that is what we want. We just feed that header into the views item. Just feed it into the header. Let's just move forward. Now, number of sections. And you can see that here we got our sections. All we have to do is grab that sections and set the count. If no sections are available, let's just use 0. Next up is the number of rows in section. Again, we grab our sections and basically the section info. And from there, we grab our number of objects. Pretty straightforward, isn't it? Next up, cell for row. Now we dequeue the cat cell. This how we do in UI table view controller. And now, and this is really convenient, we just grab the controller's object at the index path. Couldn't be much more simple. All right. So finally, we want to add in a delete function here. And let me just show you how the delete works. Let's just build and run. And let's just delete one candidate here. So maybe let's just delete Spark. And as you can see, if I just go all the way out, it will just delete that, but I could just tap on delete right here. So let's do that. And it just automatically deleted that. Okay, so what we're doing is using trailing swipe action configuration row, configuration for row at index path. And basically what we are doing is grabbing the cat object, what we did right here, the same thing, and then on the manage context, and we can grab it from the core data stack, as you can see here, or we can just choose to grab the manage context of our core data fetch results class, and we just go delete cat. Basically, that's it. Now, if we go with core data stack, we still have to save the context, so just so you know that. And let's just move forward. Did select row at index. Yeah, we just create a cat. We grab that cat object as usual. We set the votes +1 and we save the context. We could just do that on the core data stack, but let's just be consistent with the core data fetch results controller. Okay, now why don't you see the fetch results controller? Basically here, that is because let's just jump to definition. We have that here. So manage context, save. How awesome is that? Okay, so let's just move forward and we are getting to the end of this tutorial real fast. Now this is really important. Now if you want this, now we are linking NSFetchedResultsController here to the table view. Now if you do want to have this on your UI collection view controller, make sure that you just check out Dev Factory on the site. Okay. So here we have controller, as you can see here is the delegate for the NSFetchedResultsController. Controller did change content. Now we could just reload the table view. But we don't want to do that because we will be missing out on those nice animations. So what we are doing is in between the controller will change content and the controller did change content, so we just do all the insert, delete, and update and moves. And what we have to do here in the will change content, begin updates for the table view and end updates in the did change content. So between those two, we have controller did change at index path for type and the new index path. Now, you just take a look at the code. It's self-explanatory. We are inserting rows, deleting rows, updating, and moving. Now, make sure that you delete the row first and then insert the rows. That's what you have to do when you are moving. It's pretty straightforward once you go through this switch statement. Okay, now finally, we want to add another did change section info at section index. Let's say we deleted everything from one section. Then we just want to code delete section. If we inserted a new section, we just go table view.insert section at index set. And the index set is from the section index. So that is pretty much what we have to do. Again, if you do want to learn how to do this in a UI collection view controller, I have wasted a lot of hours searching for this solution on the internet, and I will be happy to share with you inside Dev Factory. So now you know how you can integrate NSFetchedResultsController into your iOS apps. Now I want you to hit that notification bell because in the next video we are going to talk about sorting and adding predicates to your core data fetch results. So go ahead and subscribe if you did like this video, and make sure to check out these videos as well too. I talk a lot about Swift UI, Swift in general, and as usual I will see you in the next one.